So we're going to continue looking at our softball introduction. This time we're going to go a little bit more in depth and we're going to talk about outs. So in each inning, each term you have a turn to the bat. So each inning that you have as a batting team has 3 outs. Okay, and you can get out, in the previous videos hopefully you've recognized that you can get out if you have 3 strikes. So 3 strikes and you are out. Okay, and hopefully you can understand that because it's a bat and ball game, if you pitch the ball, the batter hits it and it is caught, and it's caught by any of the fielders, okay, caught anywhere on the field. If you caught the ball, or you're caught out before it hits the ground, then you are also out. Okay, the only place that you can be caught and you're not out is if it lands over this dead ball, remember. Okay, the dead ball line means the ball is dead. If it's caught, it doesn't matter. It will count as a strike, one of your 3 strikes, but so long as it isn't your 3rd and final strike, okay, a ball caught in dead ball territory will not cause an out. So if you get 3 strikes as a batter, you are out. So the team has 1 out. If the next batter up is caught out, then the team has 2 outs. And as soon as the fielding side, as soon as 3 outs are registered, then the fielding side will come off the pitch and it's their turn to bat. And the team that was stood over here waiting for their turn to bat all go out on the field and you swap over. So what about all the other ways of getting out? Okay, so surely there are more than just 3 strikes and being caught. And that's where we're going to go on to our 3rd part and 3rd phase of the game. So the first phase of the game, which is probably the most difficult to get right, but once you can do it, it's very easy, is batting. And batting is generally the same for everybody. Everybody sees the same picture, everybody sees the same balls and strikes, and it's the same for everybody. However, the other 2 phases of the game are on the opposite side of the field. For the first one is fielding. So depending on your strengths as a fielder, you'll be placed in different positions. So in field, you've got to have a very accurate arm. You've got to be able to throw the ball very accurately. In the outfield, accuracy is not very good. It doesn't have to be very good, but you can, quite strong. You're quite far away. And if the ball gets over here and you're throwing it back in, people are definitely running. So you have to have a strong arm. If you're on third base and if you're on first base and you're a catcher, you will have completely different experiences of the fielding side of the game. Okay, and we'll have a look at, and you'll see different things that you have to do for different positions. However, hopefully, batting turns into probably the most difficult one to get right and the most nuanced part of the game, which is base running. And it is very difficult as a beginner to understand all the little things that come with base running. So let's assume then, as a batter, you hit the ball. And let's assume that you are not caught. So the ball hits the ground in fair territory and it's going somewhere. If you hit the ball, regardless, okay, I would like to see you running. Even if it's going to land foul or dead, okay, get used to, as soon as you hit the ball, get ready to run. So as soon as that ball is hit, this batter then turns into a runner. So hopefully you can see here it says batter/runner. So as soon as the batter hits the ball, they become what's called a batter runner. And they're going to run up here, hopefully drop the bat that they've been carrying, drop it over here to this side, okay? And they're going to run up this line. And now it is a race. It is a race between the speed of this batter runner and the ability and the throwing ability of the fielding team to get this ball to that base before the runner. And whoever wins either records an out. So let's assume that the ball is hit. It gets fielded by a shortstop who picks it up. First baseman will come across and throw it. So long as first baseman has contact with this base, it could just be a foot, it could be a toe, okay? If they catch that ball and are touching that base before this batter gets here, then this batter is out. And that is what we call a force, or a force play. Now then, I'll explain the difference now. If the batter runner wins the race, beep, 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 and gets there before the ball comes in, so either it's a bad throw, or they're just a very quick runner, or the ball's gone through into the outfield, okay, the batter gets to this base, the ball comes in nowhere near in time, the batter now becomes a runner, and the next batter comes up to hit the ball. Ball goes back into the pitch, and then generally what happens then is these two balls get swapped over, because in softball you have to have boy, girl in the batting order. So if this was a man batting, the next person it would be a woman, and vice versa. You have to go man, woman. So generally what happens now is the balls get swapped over. So the man ball, if the man was batting, gets thrown out of the play, and the girl ball comes in, and that gets pitched. So if you're wondering why all these balls get swapped every now and again, it's so that the right ball can be pitched to whoever is batting. So now that you are on base, this base running takes over, and it is different for every single base, okay? If you're a batter runner, it's fairly simple. You are running if you hit the ball, okay? There's one other thing that we're going to add on later on. We're going to extend the knowledge a little bit, but for now, you're just running to first. So what have we got here? If you are running and you are not batting, you're not fielding, but you are on base, okay, you are only safe if you are touching the base. Very important, okay? So if you are touching the base, you are safe. You cannot get out. Now, if you watch a bit of baseball, you'll know that sometimes they leave their base, and sometimes they might even run to second, and even before they've pitched the ball. And in terms of baseball and fast pitch, that's called stealing a base. Now, in slow pitch, you are not permitted to steal a base. So if you're familiar with baseball, okay, you understand these terms, you are not allowed to steal a base. In slow pitch, you are only allowed to run to the next base once the ball has been hit, okay? Now, if I am only safe when I am touching the base, if this batter then hits the ball, so they're not out, it's not caught, it's not 3 strikes. If this batter then hits the ball and the ball's in fair territory, this batter is now going to run to first. But there's a problem now, because I'm only allowed, that's going to fit in, 1 player per base. So what's happened here? I've got 2 players per base. So because this batter has turned into a runner who's now running to first, this runner has been forced, notice that word, forced to run to second base. But now, all in this region here, in between the bases, they are not safe. And if they are not safe, they are not touching the base, anybody on the fielding team can grab that ball, run over, and touch the player with the ball. And there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can either touch it with the bare ball anywhere on their body. You can have it in your glove and touch it with your glove as long as the ball remains in your glove. Okay. What you're not allowed to do is touch them with your glove and have the ball in the opposite hand. I've seen that a few times. Okay. So make sure if you're fielding, you touch them with either the ball in your glove or with the ball in your bare hand. Okay. So if that happens, okay, if the fielding team can touch you with the ball in between any of the bases, okay, then that is what's called a tag out. You've been tagged with the ball, okay, tagged with the ball. Just rather like playing tag, okay, you run around after people and you play tag or tig, depending on how northern you are, I guess. However, the tag play being touched with the ball is quite rare, because if that runner has been forced to go to second base by this batter, then the fielding team no longer have to run to get the runner and tag them out. They can actually now race this runner to second base. So just like we had a race for the batter runner with no runner, rather than having to throw this ball all the way to first now and have a race to get to the first base and see who wins, now it's a race to get to second. So this runner is going to go from first to second, and this race is a lot easier for the fielding side. Look at that distance there. Okay, so either these centre infielders, second baseman or shortstop, are going to just run over, or more likely they can just throw it over. So the second baseman will come across, they'll throw it on. And if they get there before this runner, then the runner has been forced out. Since they are forced to run and the ball has got there first, the ball has won the race rather than the runner, then the runner is out and it'll be a force play. You might also see with very, very good teams, okay, especially in baseball, it's more likely in baseball than it is in slow pitch softball, that if as soon as they hit the ball, this runner is going to be running. Okay, as soon as that ball lands, that runner is going to be heading to second. What you can do as a fielding side is you can get the ball to second, so you can win that race. You can win the race to second. And if this batter runner here isn't very fast, you can then also throw it onto first and win that race as well. So not only do you win the race to second and this runner has been forced out, you can also turn around and throw down to first, and you can throw that batter runner out as well. So you get two people out with the same hit, as it were. And that one is called what's called a double play, because you get two people out in the same go. It's very rare because what's called turning a double play is very, very difficult for the fielding side. By the time that you've thrown it over there, this runner is almost at first base. Now, just before we finish this video and go into more nuanced parts of base running, just want to show you what happens for the runner here at second. Let's assume that the batter has hit the ball and the runner has won the race. So the runner has got to second base before the ball has. However, what tends to happen now is because you're running very, very fast, you tend to overshoot and your momentum takes you over the base. You cannot stop in time. Now, since I am only safe if I am touching the base, if I run over the base and my momentum takes me over the base, I'm no longer touching it. So if this is a very, very close play and the runner comes along, wins the race to the base, the ball comes in, but you keep going, now you're no longer safe. This fielder can turn around, touch you with a ball, and now you're no longer forced out. Now it's what's called a tag out. You are not safe because you're not touching the base, so you can be tagged out. It's no longer a force because you won the race, but because your momentum kept you going, the fielding side can now touch you with the ball because you are only safe if you are touching the base. So now you are out because of a tag. However, that doesn't apply to first base. And this is the only base that looks slightly different. In every other version of the game, baseball and fast pitch, you won't have this orange bit here. So in slow pitch softball, the first base is actually two bases in one. One half of it will be white, one half of it is likely to be orange. So because the batter runner has to not only finish their swing, drop the bat, and then run, to give the batter a little bit of a advantage, let's remove that runner, all they have to do, they don't have to just stop on the base, they can run over it, okay? It's just a straight race. Can they get there? So as soon as they hit the ball's going to come in. They only have to touch that base. They can keep going, okay? That is the only base that applies to, okay? They can keep going. Well, it kind of happens at home, but we'll go on that in the next video. I know a couple of experienced people are probably watching this video going, oh, it happens at home as well. So long as the batter touches, and they can touch either of the halves, okay? The reason it's split in two is so that you don't run into these two people don't collide. So the first baseman's probably touching the white part, waiting for the ball to be caught. The runner's going to come along, try and get to that, but they can keep going, okay? They can go on forever if you want. But generally what we teach these people is not to run to the orange part, but to run past it. So you run as fast as you can, and then you can then come back. And then so long as you won that race, you come to there, you turn into a runner, and the next batter comes up, okay? And the ball is swapped. However, for second base and for third base, if your momentum takes you over, you are susceptible to being tagged out. But as a batter runner, you are not susceptible to being tagged out. That's the advantage that you have. So as long as you can keep running, okay, you are safe and you will be allowed to return to the base and then become a runner. And the next batter is up. In the next video, we're going to have a look at a few more nuances and discover what is considered to be an unforced runner.